Okay, today we'll work on ALV reports. So, what is the full form of ALV? ABAP list viewer. Okay, so ABAP list viewer. So, ABAP list viewer is a report tool or a program to display data in the report format. So, this is to display data in tabular format. User can manage output data. So, manage in the sense they can sort the data, they can filter the data, export the data to export in the sense downloading. Okay, we can download output data into Excel or CSV files. Okay, so these are all the advantages when we are using ALV reports. How we are able to display the data in our previous programs? Along with these options, we can also summarize the data like subtotals, grand totals we can generate in the ALV output. Okay, there is another option, interactive reporting also available. That means when you click any value in the specific output, you can display more detailed data using interactive reports. Okay, so ALV is a ABAP list viewer which is used to display output data in tabular format, and we can manage the data with different predefined functionalities. Okay, so these are all the predefined functionalities: sort, filter, export, right? These are all the predefined functionalities available in ALV reports. So how we are able to display, the data in previous programs? We are using either write statement, or what is the other option we have?
CL demo.
CLDemo output, which displays some simple sample output, right? If you use
Yes,
write
sir.
statement, it comes under classical reports. Okay, it comes under classical reports where we display the output using a write statement. Okay, and ALV comes under ALV reports, which are advanced than classical reports. Okay, to make it interactive in classical reports, what is the event we need to use? What is the interactive
Lines.
event? Headline selection, right?
Yes,
Here
yes,
in
sir.
ALV reports, we have different options to make the report interactive, so that you, whenever the user click on any specific value, it should perform certain action like navigating to a different transaction code or display next level data as output. Okay, how we can display data in ALV format? To display data in classical reports, we use write statement as a syntax, right? Right? But if it is in ALV reports, if it is a ALV report, what is the option we have to display data in ALV format? Okay. How can we display data in ALV format? To display data in ALV format, we have standard function modules provided by SAP. This comes under procedural programming. If you go to the object-oriented ABAP, can we use function modules in object-oriented ABAP? There we use class and methods, right? By
That's
using class and methods also we can display data in ALV format. So first we'll understand how to display ALV reports using function modules. Okay. Now there are few limitations or restrictions or to display data in ALV format. What are those? Maximum 255. So the maximum column length or the maximum field length can be only 255
255.
characters. Okay. The other limitation only 90 columns can be displayed in each report. Okay. So how many columns you can display in the report output?
90 columns.
90 columns. Okay. So by using ALV reports, right, we can hide columns. We can also apply some formatting options, like we can make that particular column as bold, we can apply some specific color, or we can also display like some icons. Depends on the value, we can display some icons for the each record. Okay. So for that we use a concept called field catalog. We use a concept called field catalog to apply formatting options on the output fields. What do we use? Field catalog. We
Field
build a
catalog.
field catalog. In the field catalog, we apply formatting options for the columns. Okay. So if you take, for example, material Matner, what are the formatting options you want to apply? I want to display that particular column in third position as a third column, right? I want to highlight that column, or I want to add some hotspot. What do you mean by hotspot? So when you are browsing, when you keep your cursor on any specific link, right, which icon it will show? If you keep your cursor on any specific URL, it will show hand sign, right?
Yes, sir.
That means you can click on that link to navigate to the next level data, right?
Next level.
So here in ABAP ALV reports, we use hotspot. Okay, we use hotspot option to notify the user that you can click on that particular column, so that it will display hand symbol whenever you place your cursor on that specific field, right? So if there is a hotspot on that field, it will show hand symbol. So all these formatting options we do in field catalog. Okay. Okay. So for that, we use hotspot option even to change the field label, like field heading. If you want your own field heading, you can use a field catalog to customize the field heading. Otherwise, by default, it will show field heading from where data element field labels. Whatever the field label you maintained in the data element level, it will show by default. Okay, clear? Now, there
Yes,
are
sir.
different types of ALV reports available. There are different types of ALV reports available. That is list display, grid display, and third one is hierarchical display. What do you mean by hierarchical display? It's like tree-like display. List display or grid display, it will just display the data in tabular format. Okay, it will just display in a tabular format with all predefined functionalities, right? So this is a list or grid display. There is one simple difference between list and grid, but the data will be in tabular format, right? What about hierarchical display? Hierarchical display will be like this. It is header record. Let's assume this is the header record and there is a plus symbol here. If you click on plus symbol, you can see item level records for that header record. Like that. Next one more header record and corresponding item records. It display like a parent and child. Okay, first it will display the header record. Corresponding to that header record, it will display corresponding item level records. Okay, that is hierarchical display. Clear? For each type of display, we have specific function modules. Specific function modules available. For list display, the function module is reuse ALV underscore list underscore display. So this is the function module we use to display ALV data in list format. To display the output data in ALV list format. Reuse underscore ALV underscore grid display. So this is to display data in grid format. I'll show you what is the difference between list format and grid format. So grid format is rich in like visually rich, like look and feel is better than list display. But when it comes to optimization, list provides better optimization. But for the look and feel, grid displays more efficient than list display. Okay. What is the third ALV? What is the third ALV? Hierarchical
Hierarchical
display. So how it will display? It will display like a parent and child records.
display.
The function module reuse underscore ALV underscore HIERSCQ underscore list underscore display. So this is the function module which we use to display data in a hierarchical format. Okay, is everyone clear? So we need to make use of these different function modules to display data in different ALV types. Okay. First, let's see how we can display data in list display. Or one important thing, we use a type group, SLIS. Okay. SLIS is a type group. What is a type group? Type group contains reusable type structures. How many of you know type structures? How many of you know type structures? Types begin off, end off, and in
Yes, sir.
between we define the fields.
Local to
So
the
these
program.
types, yeah, these type structures are local to the program, right? We cannot reuse them in the different program,
Different program.
but we
Yes,
can make it reusable when you add those type structures to a type group. Type group is in SC11. Okay, type group is in SC11. There you can create a type group, and you can maintain all reusable type structures in this type group. Okay, so that you don't need to create type structure, same type structure if you need in a different program. You don't need to create it from the beginning to define work area or internal tables. You can just define by using the type structures available in the type group. But how can you use a type group in the program? How can you reuse? For that we use type pools. This is the syntax to call the type group in a program. To call the type group in a program. What is the use of type group? In a type group we have a reusable type
double type
structures, so
structure.
that you don't need to define type structures in every program, right? For example, if you are working on ALV reports, SLIS is the type group which contains ALV related type structures. So you don't need to define all the type structures again in the program. You can just simply use the type structure available in the type group to define your work areas and internal tables. Okay, clear? So how to call a type group? Using type pools. This is the syntax, and you need to keep this syntax in the program to add type group to the program. So whatever the type structures available in the type group, you can use. So when you are creating a type group, there is one rule you have to follow. So what the type structure name should follow with the type group name. For example, types begin off. Usually we use ty, right? Ty underscore some data like this. But when you want to make it as a reusable type structure, you need to keep this type structure in a type group. To keep this type structure in a type group, what is the prerequisite? The type the type structure name should starts with the type group name. For example, slis underscore data or slis underscore output, because the type group name is slis. If you have created a custom type group, z, for example, your type group name is z test underscore output. You need to create type structures like this in the type group. Okay, is everyone clear? Is everyone clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's create a simple program to display data in ALV format. Let's take our previous programs instead of creating a new program again. Or let me create a simple program first. How many of you know how to call a function module? Create a program. How many of you know how to create a function module in the program? No one knows that. If you don't know, then no, there is no meaning in continuing this class. I think we need to hold this
Go to
concept
pattern.
if you don't know how to call a function module in the program. Do you guys know that or not?
Yes, sir, we know.
Yes, sir, we know.
Now, I'm not designing the selection screen. I think what is the data element for customer?
Kunal.
Kunar. KUNAZ also there. Okay. Not using any validations or anything because you already know that concept. Select star from PBAK into table data or form. LT underscore
Date.
PBAK where Kunar
Kunal.
to observe carefully.
A is no. Not
Observe carefully. How many columns we are selecting from the table VBAK?
all.
All columns because
All.
we are using star.
Yes.
All columns we are selecting data into a internal table. Now, how to display the output? Till now we have used like this. If LT underscore VBAK is not initial, then what did we use? CL demo
Cell demo.
output display and LT VBAK. This is how we display the output as of now, right? Let's check the
Yes, sir.
output. Execute the program. I'm not using many options, formatting options like field labels, selection screen design. You have to do that when you are creating. Let's try with this customer. Execute. Looks like no records available for that customer. Let me try another customer with some data. Sabarsi 4. Why the select statement is failing? Please observe carefully. Are we able to select any data?
No, sir.
Now how to troubleshoot this? Now how can you make sure your program is working fine? How can you
Sai Sabas,
Sabar se check कीजिए. They are not.
yeah,
Sabas check.
yeah Sabarsi check is there, but
Hmm.
I'm not a technical guy. I'm the user. I ask you to
Okay.
create a program, right? I ask you to create a program to display sales order data. But when you are trying to give a demo about this functionality, it is not displaying any output. How can you convince me that the program functionality is working fine?
Mm, we can set like we can told him like go table level.
Yeah,
We will
you
check
need to show
table
them.
level.
Here you are trying with this customer, specific customer, but let's check before going to conclude that the program is not working. We'll go and check data in the table. If the data is available, then only program can execute and display the output. If there is a data issue, right, we need to fix the data, not the program. Go to SC11. What is the table we are selecting? VBAK. Check the records available in VBAK. What is the customer we tried? 2070, right?
070.
70. Yeah.
Looks like that is not available, right? So here to filter the data, what is the option you can use? Go to settings. Every time you may not be able to see all these filter options here, right? You need to select it from here. Field for selection. In settings, go to fields for selection. And what is the by which field you are filtering the data? Anyway, VBLN should be there. What is the other field we are
Kunal.
using? Kunar.
Kunar.
Find that field. This is the field, right? Select Kunar. Okay, so that you can enter the value and filter the records with instead of executing all the records of the table. Okay, there are around 15,000 records in the sales order records in the table. I don't want all of them. I want to check why a specific customer records are not working. I am using 2070 as a customer. Execute. So it's not working because there is no customer record with 2070. Okay, so we can show the user here that it is not a program issue, it is a data issue. Otherwise, increase the maximum number of hints. By default, it will display 200 records. Even though there are 10,000 records in the table, initially it will display only 200 records until unless you increase the range. Okay, clear? Don't think that there are only 200 records in the table because it displays only 200 records. By default, it will display only 200 records. You need to increase the limit here to display more records. Execute. This one, right? It is displaying different label here. But if you want to know the technical name, instead of this label text, if you want to know the technical name of the field, to make sure that you are looking at the correct technical column, go to settings, user parameters. Instead of field label, what you need to select? Field name. So that it will display the technical name of that column instead of the label text. Okay. What is your column name for customer?
Kunar.
Kunar, right? So that you can make sure you are looking at the correct column. Kunar, this is the column. If you check this, there is some data for this. Okay. You can try your program with this output data, with this customer. Now it is displaying the output because there are records available in VBAK table for this customer, right? So that user can convince. Okay. Otherwise, when you are providing a demo, if you can't show any data, they think that program is not working, right? So you need to explain. You need to go to the table and check the data and explain them. Okay. For your testing also, it is helpful. Always go and check in the table. Okay. Now it is displaying one basic output, right? Without any filter, since we are using CL demo output, right? It's a very basic output display. We don't have any option to download the data. We don't have any option to sort the data. We don't have any option to filter the data, right? Now let's make it as a ALV report. What we need to do? I'll comment this. I'll comment CL demo output, or I'll just completely remove this. Instead of this, what we need to use? ALV report. To use ALV report, what we need to do? How to call ALV report?
Standard function.
Place the cursor here. Go to pattern. What is the function module name for ALV report? We have different types of ALV reports: list display and grid display. First try list display. Reuse
list display.
list display. or you can also use stars to search for this function module. If you know reuse star like list or something, some keywords you can try. Call the function module. It is calling the function module. These are all the importing parameters for the function module, but you don't need to pass all the parameters every time. Okay. Depends on the requirement. You can choose parameters, whatever you need to pass, but there are few mandatory parameters which you need to pass. So what are those? Enable exporting, interface, sorry, there is a parameter called program name. Where is it?
I call
I
back
callback
program.
program. It should be sy-rep id. What it will contains? sy-rep id. Current program name. It's a system variable which holds the current program name. Okay, which holds the current program name. Again, it's not mandatory. It's a optional parameter. I'm removing the rest. If you go and check these parameters in the function module in SC37, if you open this function module in SC37, all these parameters are defined as optional parameters. I don't need all these options. Now, I'm keeping structure name. I'm keeping structure name because we are going to use that in this example. Even import, I'm not importing anything. Enable the structure name. Enable the exceptions. Whatever the optional parameters I have removed. Okay, I have deleted. Now, what is the structure name? I'm not building field catalog for the ALV report. What is the use of field catalog? What is
So
the use
field
of field catalog? To format the report output, to change the order of the column, right? To add hotspot, to change the heading text, right? All these formatting options we can achieve through field catalog. But I am not formatting the output. I just want to display as it is. Okay. What is structure name? Structure name nothing but table name or data dictionary structure name. You need to pass in capital letters. Okay. What is the current structure name we are taking? VBAK, because we are selecting data from VBAK and we are selecting all the fields, right? Yes or no?
sure.
And we are using that corresponding internal table to display the output. Take that internal table, pass that input, pass that as input in the tables parameter. Why this is still using tables? I told you tables is outdated, right? Obsolete, right?
Yes, sir.
Because this function module developed few years ago. Okay, it's not a new function module. So that's why they have used a table statement there. Here, output tab nothing but whatever the final output you need to display. Whatever the final output you need to display. Is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
Whatever the data you selected from different tables and merged into a final output, right? That final output internal table you need to pass here. And here, whatever the structure you are passing here, structure or table, should be compatible with this final output function module, right? For example, here since we are selecting all the fields from VBAK, we are directly passing database table name here as a structure name because this internal table contains exactly same fields like a VBAK because we are using select star. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If we are selecting only limited fields without using select star, I am selecting only required fields. Then we cannot use a complete table name. What we
Maybe.
need to do? We need to create a data dictionary structure. So we need to create a data dictionary structure. If you are selecting only limited fields, for example, without using star, I am selecting only VBELN and what are the other fields in VBAK? Lookers, AUART, KUNNR. I am selecting only these fields. In this example, can we use VBAK as a structure name?
No, you can't.
No, because This internal table. Now in this internal table we have only 4 columns, and this structure table contains many columns,
All
200 plus columns. Both are not compatible, so we cannot use that. Then what we need to do? We need to
need to
create
create a
Define a
data
type
data
dictionary structure. Type structure is not going to work in this example.
data dictionary.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
create a local type structure, it's not going to work. You need to create a data dictionary structure in S11 and create that structure with these 4 fields and pass that structure name here. For example, Z sales VBAK. Okay. The structure contains only these 4 fields in the same order. Okay. Now let's see how it will display the output. So what are the mandatory parameters? You need to pass the output table and structure name and program
Structure
ID.
name.
But to customize your report output, we need to use field catalog option. There is one more parameter called field catalog that is also mandatory. But for this simple output, we are not using that field catalog. We are displaying data as it is, how it is maintained in the table or structure. Activate the program. What is the error? Okay. So activate the program. Execute the program. So this is which type of display? ALV report to display with the list option. Okay, we are displaying the data in ALV format with list output. Okay, by using the function module. Here observe, these are all the predefined functionalities available here. Sort ascending, sort descending, filter the record, right? This is totals to generate the subtotals or grand totals. This is to export into a Excel file. You can download this entire output into a Excel file. Okay, this is to send email. We can send this output data as email. Okay, zero and clear.
Yes, sir.
To check any specific record, double click on it or click on this display details. It will show record like this. Okay, now how we can use all these different options? You can filter the sales orders if you want, right? Select any value from the output. These are all from the output. Okay, I'm filtering with this, so it will display only that specific record. Okay, if you remove the filter, delete it, it will display all the records. And if you click on this option, if spreadsheet is available in your system, it will download the data into Excel file. Okay, you can download this complete data into Excel file. Okay, sorting, how can you sort? For example, if you want to sort the records by created date, right? Select the column descending so that most recent records will be available on the top. If you want to sort it by ascending, right, it will display records in the ascending order. What about the sum option? Totals. Totals we can apply on numerical values like any value. Click on next to see more columns. What is the limitation of ALV reports? It can display only up to 90 columns, right? So you
90
cannot
columns.
see more columns. This is list display. Let's see how grid display will work. How to display data in grid format? Go to pattern, call, function. Instead of list display, what we need to use?
Grid.
Grid display. One more function module. Here also removing unnecessary parameters which we are not using in this example. I'll keep only whatever the parameters we need to use. Structure name we need. I'll keep this field catalog because in next example we are going to use field catalog. So by using this field catalog, right, we can format the output. Field catalog nothing but we need to collect records into an internal table and we need to pass that internal table here. Okay, so you're not going to learn anything new here if you know how to call a function module. If you know how to append records to the internal table, you're already aware of this concept. Okay, what is callback program? You can give a hard-coded program name like this in single quotes. Make sure you are passing only uppercase letters. You can also give like this or simply sy-repid. Okay. Since we are not using any field catalog to format the output, we'll use the structure name. What is the structure name? VBAK. Enable. For output tab, what we need to pass? The final output internal table. Okay. I'm commenting the list to display. That's it. You can handle the exceptions using sub-RC check. If sub-RC is not equal to 0, you can handle relevant exceptions. Okay. Check the program, activate the program. Execute the program and observe the difference. Which output it is?
Grid.
It's a grid display. Okay, it's a grid display. Look and feel is better than list display. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, how this header text is being displayed? It is displaying sales document, right? From where this is being displayed?
Field labels
Field
from
labels available in the data element. What
Data
is the field
element.
for sales order number?
Veblan.
Yeah, if you go to VBLN or VBLN field, you double click on the data element, go to field label. It is displaying this medium text. Okay, so why we have given short, medium and long? Let's observe here. I am decreasing the width. I am decreasing the width of the column. What is this? What it is displaying? Sales doc dot,
Oh,
right? This one, short description. It is displaying. If I expand it, it is automatically changing the description to medium description,
medium.
right? Let me show you another example. It is same for all so that we cannot observe the much difference. If you observe this, there are three different descriptions: short, medium and long. Doc cat, document cat, SD document category, right? What is this? VBTYP. Where is that in our ALV report? This one, right? Initially, expand this column. First, decrease the length. It is displaying doc dot cat. It is short description from the field label. If we expand this, it is displaying document cat. It is medium description, right? Sorry, medium length. If we expand further, sorry, not this one. If we expand further, it is displaying this one, long. Okay. So depends on the output width, it will automatically adjust the label, right? But to customize these labels, what we need to do? I don't want these standard labels which are coming from data element. I want my own field headings. In that case, what we need
Photoshop.
to do?
We use field catalog.
We use field catalog option. Okay, to customize the report output, we use field catalog. For example, I don't want this sales document category in the 6th position or 7th position. I want to keep the display it in the 2nd position. By default, it won't possible if you use structure option. But if you use field catalog option, we can change the order of the columns, right? Which one should be displayed as first column and which one should be displayed as second column. We can highlight any specific column with the bold letters, right? We can display some icons here, right? And we can display checkboxes. We can display any specific field as checkbox. Let's say there is a field called yes or no. So that field contains the value yes or no. Instead of entering yes or no, I'll provide the user a option called checkbox. If the user select the checkbox, that means yes. If you leave it blank, that means no. We can also do that kind of formatting when we are working with the field catalogs. Okay. The next example we'll see how we can use field catalogs. For now, just observe how what is the difference between list display and block display. Okay. Sorry, not block, grid display. Is everyone clear? Let's say you are selecting only specific fields like VBLN, VBTYP, ERDAT, created date, and VBTYP. I want only these 3 fields. I don't want the rest of the data. And Kunar, I don't want the rest of the data. What we need to do? Go to SC11. Since we are not using field catalog, if you are using field catalog, you don't need this. Create a structure. Create a structure. And maintain fields, whatever the fields you want to display as output in the same order. What is the other field? VBTYP. I think data element is also same. This is the data element. Activate the structure. If you have any currency or quantity related fields, you need to add currency and quantity fields reference here. So I'll show you when we are working on a different example. Activate the structure. It is already active. Take the structure name instead of table name. What you need to use here? That structure name. Okay, in the capital letters. Activate. Execute. Right now it is displaying only those specific fields which are available in the internal table. Is everyone clear? This is
Yes,
how
sir.
we can display simple ALV report. But to customize the report output, we use field catalog option. That is very common in the projects. Okay, we use field catalogs to customize the output, like field labels, field headings, to adding hotspot options, highlight the any specific column, right? Hotspot is field catalog is mandatory. Clear? But if you just need to display simple output, you don't need to do all those things. Just use this table or structure option. Okay, the structure nothing but final structure. That the structure can be a combination of 4 tables columns, right? Whatever the final output you are trying to display, the structure reflects that final structure layout. Okay, is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
So the next example should be on using field catalog, very important. But first you need to familiar with calling ALV function modules in the program and how to pass the parameters. Okay, simple, you are not learning anything new here. You know how to call a function module already. You know how to create data dictionary structures. You know how to create the select statements, right? Only thing you need to understand which function module you need to call and what are the parameters I need to pass. Okay.